My name is Jerry Marotti, and to my right is Greg Marangello, and together we are
the Wax Hunters!
How's everybody today? Listen, we had some real tragedies in the sports world just recently, and we don't have to tell you, Kobe Bryant. It's just a tragedy, what happened. Our hearts go out to Kobe and his family and all the others that perished on that flight. It is a simple tragedy. Words cannot explain. Wax Hunters, Wax Hunter Nation, we're all in some type of a grieving process from all the memories we've had through the years with them. And to my understanding, there were a lot of memories with the other people who perished on that flight. Also, there were coaches, there were moms, dads, kids.
Too many kids.
Too many. You know, it's just a tragedy. So our hearts go out to all the families that perished on that flight and to Kobe and his wife and his family. So let's try to make this show a little bit upbeat, considering the tragedy we have. Now, we spoke a little bit prior to filming the show about, what would really be the topic. And the topic is basically deceased players. We have some examples up front there. Thurman Munson.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's not the first time something like this has happened.
True. Thurman Munson in an airplane crash. Nick Buoniconti. Walter Payton passed.
Ray Halladay.
Yeah, Ray Halladay. Bill Bruckner. There's so many. But reason why we're emphasizing this a little bit on Kobe is that through all the years that I've been collecting and watching cards, I don't believe there's ever been such a frenzy to collect his memorabilia, his autographs, cards, boxes, the hoops. I mean, just for example, this hoops box right here is 96, 97 hoops hobby. I believe that box was around $25, $29, maybe less. Yeah. I had to pay $400 for that box.
Yeah.
So, and I thought, and Greg had said to me prior to purchasing it, because that day, ironically, I happened to be taking a nap when he passed away. So I'll never forget where I was and what I was doing. I was sleeping. But my phone was blowing up because we had taped the show and I had it on silent.
Literally, it's just finished the show.
And Greg was telling me, but even when I jumped on, everything skyrocketed. So I couldn't. Yeah. I was lucky to find a couple of things
within 10 minutes. So I found out around 3:00.
Yeah,
which was pretty much when the news broke.
Yeah,
within 10 minutes, people had pulled down listings. They had repriced it. Any rookie card that was on there was being pulled off. I had tried to buy, I want to say 3 or 4 different cards, and every time I hit buy, it said this is no longer for sale, already purchased.
You had one that you already, I believe, hit by it now, and it was shut down as you were
3 times. It happened 3 times in a row. The boxes. I just have never seen anything happen so instantly. In terms of some tragedy like this happening.
Yeah, it is
and
crazy.
It's sad, but also speaks to the collectivity of the player. Personally, I think the cards will correct themselves just from the standpoint that there's no adjustment in terms of how many cards were made. All that's still the same. The autographs, though, Jerry, those went bananas.
Well, I hear you on the autographs, and I'm gonna agree to disagree with you here. That's what we do on this show. We have different opinions.
I already disagree with whatever you're about to say.
Okay, good. And that's perfect because now I can really rumble into it. I haven't seen the cards. I've seen them level, but not drop. I've seen a lot of other players level, then dropped, who passed away. He's not dropping. So he is right about the signatures. Obviously, he's not going to be able to sign anything anymore. And if you can get a signature with Kobe, we would strongly advise it. But the cards, on the other hand, are still maintaining that value. The hope is, for example, this right here. That's the Topps 50th Anniversary Gold Edition set, which has an autograph in every set and 6 randomly inserted cards from their subset. So it makes it an attractive set to collect. That set is going anywhere between $450 and $500 right now. That set couldn't have been more than $39.95 when it was sold. The point I'm going to get at right now versus the signature is that a lot of people did not collect 96, 97 material. It was kind of like a dud year. I mean, Kobe was up there. I don't even know who was in baseball or football in that year.
Yeah.
But it wasn't anything to speak of. So what did they do? They ripped them open.
Yeah, I would say on the one hand, they're going to buy him just because he was going to the Hall of Fame this year anyways.
That's going to cause another.
Yeah. Listen, he's more collectible now than he was, unfortunately 2 weeks ago. And I hate that something terrible happened that's making this market go crazy like it is.
And to profit off it the way they are.
It's not something where I want to advocate, collecting because of a tragedy.
Right. No.
But my point being, these cards were already produced and printed. Those boxes, they're not changing the amount of boxes that are out there or packs that are out there. The autographs are going to be much harder to obtain, so that's why the autographs are going to jump up more. His cards are going to go up. He's more collectible now than he's ever been, unfortunately, and it's only going to go up from there. But I think you're going to see those cards kind of level out.
Well, I'm hoping that they're up to a point when they level out. It's still at a profitable thing that you collected it. But the issue is, like I said before, I want to revert back to it, is nobody saved 96. Well, some people did, but
I think that they did.
I don't see it on eBay.
Yeah.
I don't see it online.
Kobe was popular. I mean, he was.
I just don't see enough of it.
I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure he was. I think he was the first player in a really long time to come out from high school. Is there him?
He did. He went from high school to the NBA.
Garnett. I can't remember who was first.
Well, he went out from high school to the NBA.
They both did. But
Yeah.
one or the other were like one of the first ones to do it in a very long time. So there was a big buzz about him, especially when he got traded from Charlotte to the Lakers. So I mean, he was collectible for sure. I mean, I have 3 of his.
But if it was
cards.
the only one, it wouldn't be as collectible. Like, some years there's a star-studded box with multiple. That 96, 97 wasn't. And my point is, nobody was collecting 96 hoops. What they do, they open them. Now there's a shortage of boxes. And the reason why I say is because here's a perfect example. We're off of basketball for a second. Here is a box of 92 Stadium Club football. Now, for you guys out there scratching your head, Stadium Club football, 92, yes.
The high series.
The high series.
If you watched last week, you'll know where we're going with this.
That's right. So, again, it was only produced in short numbers, 300 cases, 16 boxes in a case, and the box was worth about 500. Only because, Brett Favre's in there, and that plays part of it, and there's a card in there that's kind of valuable. But realistically, it's really driven by the lack of boxes. There's a shortage of boxes. And that's why I'm going to say the 96, 97 hoops, the upper deck, the skybox. I'm actually bidding on one right now, the Flair edition, which is a very high-end box. I'm hoping I get it. That has a multiple cards in there. But everything I look at in the price guide shows Kobe, Jordan. Kobe, Jordan. So those are the 2 collectible cards. Jordan was already out there. Kobe,
Yeah, there's LeBron.
No, I'm saying for that year.
Yeah.
In
96.
That year.
Yeah.
That's all I see in the price guide is Kobe and Jordan.
Yeah, you're right.
So that's just goes to show what I was saying. There isn't a multitude of stars. So that's why I think there's going to be a shortage of finding unopened material.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's where I'm
in '96, Kobe's the only rookie in that set. I think that was like
there was a few, but I don't know who they are.
Marbury, I think it was those guys.
I don't think he was in there. I would have noticed the name.
Well, he's not. It's not to a point where it'd be listed in PSA. And
the other thing is, hoops. I mean, it's a hobby box. So that's even more so. I mean, the retails are probably, if they didn't collect the retail, they're not going to collect the hobby. So we got to see. Time will tell.
Listen,
time will tell.
It's a good box to own. I think the set and the box are both really good ones to have.
If you want to get in, again, at a basement low end, that's the way to go.
Yeah, I would say to the point that we were originally talking about, unfortunately players have passed away, young, early, like Roy Halladay is the most recent example.
Yeah.
And he was a Hall of Fame player. He was a Cy Young Award winner. He was an All-Star. He wasn't at the global level that Kobe was, but he didn't, the market didn't react the way that they did for Kobe, for him the way they have for Kobe. We've never seen anything like that.
And that's why we're doing the show on that, because we've never seen anything like that. And I have never seen anything like that in all the years I've been collecting. So Kobe evidently really stirred the pot from young, old, in between. Everything is gone up dramatically on him. Now, the collectability of it, obviously any sports star we feel is collectible. But in the case of Kobe, he was well loved and respected.
Great player.
Great player.
Probably one of the best finishers I've ever seen.
So, just with these comments and everybody else feels the same sentiment, you're going to always drive that price of those things. And I feel bad for some younger collectors that are going to want maybe some unopened material.
Yeah.
It's going to be very difficult for them to get into that. But you can find plenty of cards of Kobe at a really, really good price if you want to have something. But again, it's not about, run out and buy all these Kobe boxes and profit and make all this money. No, we do not advocate that.
It's about adding to your collection.
Adding to your collection just like anybody else.
Well, it's a lot like, like I talk about with like the rookies like Zion. For me, I have to buy early because I can't afford it. A year from, we were talking about the Panini, the Prism boxes.
Yeah.
The only way I was going to be able to buy that box was when it first came out, and I made a choice to buy a different box. Now it's already priced out for me.
Yeah.
For Kobe, if you want a Kobe box, I unfortunately, like, this might be this is a bad time to buy it just because they're jumping up so high. But the way it's moving, it might be the lowest price you're gonna be able to get it for a long time.
Well, and again, you're talking from, and I'm talking to the audience, you're talking from a seasoned collector and veteran. He's getting priced out. So if he's getting priced out, imagine the younger collectors. So
there's no new collectors dropping $400 on a box.
Right, and
I wouldn't advocate for them to do that either. There's better buys for you to go out. There's better things for you to go out and buy with $400.
Right, and on a collectability basis, you're right. There's a lot of things you can buy. We're talking about collecting. We're talking about, this is a broad spectrum. We don't want to focus just on Kobe or people who passed away. I mean, I got Thurman Munson up there. Okay, another example. Thurman Munson passed, an airplane crash. I have his autograph up there. It maintains its value. But, like, people are not banging the doors down for him.
Nope.
But, if that went to auction, that piece would sell. It's a very rare, sharp autograph of Thurman Munson. So I think at the end of the day, I'm going to lean to Greg with the autographs. If you can find the autographs, buy them, because obviously he's not going to
for the right price.
For the right price.
Yeah.
Don't do what most people do in a stock market. They buy high and sell low.
Yeah. And also, if you are buying autographs, make sure that you're looking at the certificate of authenticity.
Oh, God, yeah.
Never buy an autograph that's not certified. 2, don't buy an autograph that's not certified by PSA or JSA. Or Beckett, and even Beckett to some degree.
Or there are ones that are not either one of those, but they were taken in person and they have a picture to back it up.
Yeah, you want to have some type of lineage or provenance that show that item's legitimate. There's a lot of fake autographs out there.
Too many.
Especially right now when something like this happens. Way too many out there. So be careful when you're buying that stuff. Also with autographs, they're labeled with stickers or certificates of authenticity. You can verify it through pretty much any of those websites that certify it. So you can see to make sure that you're not buying something that's not actually, that like someone just didn't manufacture a sticker with a fake number on it.
Check the number, and there's a certification verification code on PSA's website.
Yep.
Tongue twisted today. PSA's website at the bottom of the page, where you could just type the number in and certify it. Now, here's the thing. Do not be, and this is just in general, do not be wowed over that you think you found a great deal on, I don't care who it is who passed or whatever. You're better off spending a few extra dollars and getting it verified. They are doing reproduction so good, it's almost impossible to find.
One thing to throw out there too, PSA will actually verify an auction autograph for you through the website.
Oh yeah, they said there's a small charge for that.
There's a small charge. There's a charge for it, but then they'll knock that off if you actually get it certified through them.
Right.
So if you're looking at like a website like Heritage or pretty much any of those websites where there's like
who carries an autograph,
who carries an autograph through an auction, you can actually pay PSA to kind of pre-authenticate it for you. It doesn't guarantee that it's going to pass, but they'll give you a thumbs up or thumbs down real quick if it looks okay or not. So that's a good thing to do if before you go drop, thousands of dollars on an autograph that could potentially not be authentic. And
I'll tell you another way, since we're talking about that, if you remember some shows, way shows back, we had a gentleman on by the name of John Palmieri.
One of the greatest guests in the history of the wax.
Well, I'll tell you what he is doing that's intriguing me now. At the time, I'm looking at him like, well, what is he doing? And we would find him in the corner somewhere flipping through a box looking for autographs. And he would tell me, I picked up these 3 autographs. Well, how much?
Yeah.
$10. These 4 autographs, how much? $5. I mean, just really, really cheap prices.
Yeah.
And now that I look at it, what he did was he's basically getting autographs of people he thinks will or can be good or famous. And you know what? He's not getting hurt. So he's going to get that hit because one of those players is going to take off and he's going to have an autograph they paid $5 for that could potentially be worth thousands.
Yeah.
And he has a lot of autographs. I would say in my guesstimation, he has to have over 500 autographs.
That's right.
So whether they're good, bad, or indifferent, they're professional players that he bought at a rock bottom prices.
He's the auto wax hunter.
Yeah.
Is
I mean, look at Brady. Where did he draft? 160.
Tom Brady was 199.
199 second round, right?
Sixth round.
Sixth round. That's right.
He was.
So if you were in his show,
he was an afterthought.
right? Looking for an autograph, you'd probably be in that bin getting him for $3-4.
Yeah, you would have.
Now look at it. So for anybody out there that's looking for autographs, take after one of our friends does. Go to those shows and find the low end. Well, I should say low end. Find professional athletes that you feel that could potentially be a star down the line and invest in them because you may spend for, say, 100 autographs, you might spend $50. It only takes one of those autographs to pop, and you can literally make a lot of money.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know one thing that John and his son do at the card show. They look for the players in the farm system that they really like. And this is mostly for baseball.
Yeah.
But they've had some really good hits. I'm a little jealous of some of the cards that they have. And if I'm ever at their house, those cards may disappear.
Well, no, we don't have to do that. We can
I do.
No, you don't have to do that either. We could really just like we could threaten him. Yeah. Like if you don't give us certain autographs, put his telephone number up on here.
Right, we could do that.
Have a party, tell everybody he's at a party at his house. I mean, there's a lot of things we could do.
Yeah.
But no, I think John, if he had knowing John, if he had a couple autographs, I think he would bestow one on you if he had to.
Yeah. I'm just gonna follow their lead when they go to the card shows.
But all kidding aside, that is an absolute great theory that they do, whether it's unbeknowing or knowing. I'll have to ask Johnny and find out if that is done purposely or just he just like collecting them because like you said, you have professional athletes, you're taking the signatures for a really good price. I can't even believe how cheap he's buying these autographs.
Dollars.
Literally dollars.
Dollars going for hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, and I'm sure what he has now, if he sells a couple, he can pay for everything and then some.
Yeah.
So, in the autograph side, we say, hey, look, if the person passes, obviously he can't sign anymore. There are autographs that when you look in the guide, you'll say, I don't know this guy.
Yeah.
He's a professional. Why is it so much? Because he may have only signed 3 pieces his entire life. And that happens.
Yeah, another thing, too, just for random autographs, doesn't even have to be cards. PSA also has a price guide for...
yes, they do.
Yeah, for a whole bunch of different items. I didn't know this until I met you.
Yeah.
I'll look at it all the time. Like
for a cut.
Yeah, for cut signatures, for balls, for bats, for...
on tickets.
Yeah, tickets,
cards.
like tons of stuff. So, like, if you're ever curious about the value of an autograph, you can go to PSA's website. They do sports and they do presidents. So like lots
in
of cool
office
stuff.
And out of office, which is crazy. It's more when he's in office than when he's out of office.
Yeah. So lots of stuff to look at there. So
is he busier?
Well, he could have been doing something historic at the time.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'd rather get a George Washington when he's first in office as opposed to just
when he's hanging around the farm,
cruising on the Delaware River.
That's right, throwing coins in.
Yeah. But yeah, so lots of cool stuff with that. Also, I do want to just point out a couple other things separately that have been going on in the wax market in the last couple weeks. So one, we've got the rise of Zion. He's here.
Yeah,
he's playing now, and he's
staying.
He's
playing and staying.
He's showing. He's strutting his stuff. His Panini box is already up on PSA. Card and an autograph is already valued at $1,200.
Yeah, that.
And that was one of his very first boxes. So they're just starting to hit their stride. But we bought that Contenders box, and that's already gone up $100 since.
We paid $300 for it?
$300.
What is it now?
We paid $300, which was a little more than the original price when it came out.
Yeah.
And now it's already selling. Not asking, it's selling. Right. That's what you have to look at on eBay. It's selling at $400 right now.
Wow.
And it's only going higher than that. So I think that'll be a $500 box in the next 2 months.
Now, the one that I bought, the one that's first off the line, was that was a Contenders. That was a Prism.
That's the Panini Prism, which is the hot box right now.
Okay.
So that one, first off the line, is going for about, I think, 800,
800.
799.
Yeah, okay. And now there's a point there. That sounds cheap, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And if and I went by Greg's opinion about Zion and everything else, and I bought that box. But if he's right, that box should be around $1,200.
Yeah.
At a very short period of time.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's played 5 games and his card's already worth $1,200. Him and Morin are both listed. I would expect to see the Contenders box up there very soon. And I think that you're going to see those cards, equal to, if not a little bit higher than the Prism, just based off of how they've been going the past few years. But guys, buy now on Zion, because his cards are skyrocketing even more than we expected already.
Well, let me ask you this. Here's the thing. We tell people to buy, but we never tell people when to sell. So what is the right time to sell your stuff? And we're going to give you both opinions, mine and Greg's.
Yeah.
Mine is this. I'm more of a holder. Hold for the long term. Don't jump out of it too quick. You can get burnt. But what you have to do is when you buy the box, put down what you paid for it, and then have a price in your mind. If it does hit this, that's what I want to sell it. And then this way, you don't feel guilty that if, for example, that Prism box, if I say I'm going to sell it at $1,000, it hits $1,000, I sell it, and then a year and a half later, it's $2,000. You can't kick yourself because you made a conscious decision when you want to get rid of it. I don't know what you think. I'm more of a holder.
I think that it depends. So I think that if you're in a position where you're making money, it's not a bad time to sell because you're always making something. You can't look at where it's going to go if you held on to it. You can't live that way. So if you want to sell something and you're going to make money, I think it's okay to sell it. There's just some stuff I'd rather hold on to longer than others. So like I just recently sold a pack of 72 Topps football. I bought it for $400. I sold it for $500. I made $100, a 20% return on my money.
Yeah, 25%.
Yeah, so I can't feel bad about that. But one, I know I can always find that pack. Two, that price has pretty much been the same for a little while now. I don't see it swinging, super high or super low one way or the other. So
you have to figure out what will make it swing super high.
Yeah. So and I just based off of who's in that pack, I think that that's pretty much where it's going to be for right now. I think that I got a good price to sell it, and I think the buyer got a good price to buy it, and I think that we both came out okay on that. But now I could take that money and reinvest it into something else, which is ideally what you want to do with that stuff. Now, for me, I keep a list. I have a spreadsheet of everything I bought, how much I bought it for, what the current price is on eBay. I go through and check it every month to see like what my profit is on a box or what my decline is on a box. And thankfully, since September when I started tracking it, I'm up about 25% overall on my investment in just 4 or 5 months.
And we had said it way shows back. I had made mention it outdid gold, it outdid silver, it outdid stocks, and you know what? Just by him tracking it, that just goes to show my point. It is true.
Yeah,
you can get those kind of returns on that stuff. Now, he'd have to liquidate his collection and everything else. After he liquidates, if he uses an auction house, it's probably going to net out around, I would say, 18%. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah,
and any standard investment.
And that's
today.
If I'm selling everything, which I'm not. But I'll sell select items. So like I'm not going to sell my Zion boxes.
Right. You want to hang
on.
But
I might sell an extra box of 1993 baseball. Maybe I probably
or 97 baseball, the O-Pee-Chee and the Topps box with
87.
I'm sorry, 87.
97 is Roy Halladay, and I'm not touching that box because I think that's going to go.
See, there you go. Yeah. So everybody's going to have their own opinion of why they want to keep the box. First and foremost, both of us we're collectors. The money end of it is on the secondary side. In the end, I want to enjoy my stuff. I want to look at my stuff, and when I collect it, I have doubles and triples of things, and I still haven't sold it. Yep. So the collection is what it's all about. In the end of when I'm done, this is the way I look at it. Of course, I want to profit, but I also want to take my collection and let somebody else enjoy it for 20 plus years so they can look at it. So
I also I like the hunting, and I like having the bullets to be able to continue to hunt and get other stuff that I want.
True.
So, to your point, it's fun to enjoy the things, but at a certain point, look, there are certain things I'm not going to sell. I'm not going to sell the 2000 playoff contenders stuff. I'm not gonna sell my 2000 baseball with Albert Pujols, the Bowman Chrome. Not touching that. That's not going anywhere. But I might sell my 2004 Topps Chrome football box with Eli Manning. This might be a good time to sell that.
Right, and it is a good time to sell that. As a matter of fact, but at some point you're going to have to sell everything.
Yes,
and so that's what I'm saying. And when you're done fully enjoying the collection, the hunt like we do, and
the wax
that
hunt.
thrill. That's right, the wax hunt, and that thrill of getting the pack, or that thrill of getting, the grade back when you're waiting anxiously. You think the pack is a super pack, and you get that 9 grade. I don't want to say 10 because they're not out there too much, but you want to pass that on. You want to pass. My collection, I feel, is a legacy. Okay, when I pass that on or sell it, it's a legacy. It's years of devotion and studying and looking and wax hunting and arguing and everything in between. That's what makes it fun to collect.
Yeah,
that's what makes us do what we do, because it's fun.
Yeah,
and it's good, clean fun. And it can also, as we say in every segment, it can also give you a nice return on your money.
It sure could. And it lets you enjoy sports a little bit more.
Know a little bit more?
Yeah, today is a special day. Happy Super Bowl Sunday.
That's right. Today is Super Bowl Sunday. As a matter of fact, we were so somber on the opening of the show that it slipped my mind.
I want to give a big shout out to Lamar Jackson, new MVP. And I'm just going to throw it out there. His cards are starting to climb up a little bit more, too.
Oh, you know what? I mean, it's going to be an exciting game today. This is going to be on tape and the internet forever once I say it. I like the Chiefs. San Fran is an excellent team.
I like their defense. Jerry.
This is really a coin flip of a game. If any Super Bowl was ever well matched, this is one of them. They're well matched. You don't have a lopsided.
This could either be the best game that we've seen in a long time, or it could be the most boring game we've seen in a long time.
Well, you know what? Look, if you go back to a Super Bowl ago, you take the Rams. They thought it was going to be a high scoring game, and it was kind of a dud.
Yeah, I feel bad for the Rams fans.
Yeah, and poor Rams fans. And the bottom line is, it didn't really play up to the bill it was supposed to. I think this game is going to do that.
I think so too. I think it's going to be a good game. I think there's some good stuff in there. It may give our boy Mahomes a chance to shine and let his boxes jump up a little bit more.
And there you go. So all the boxes, or anyone that bought boxes with any of the players in the two teams today, you're going to see a noted increase in the cards, in the packs, in the wax boxes.
Garoppolo has a big game. That
they will. Yeah, they'll rise. They'll rise. And again, don't rush out, please. Whatever you do, don't rush out after they win the Super Bowl or tomorrow and start buying it because you think they're going to jack the prices way up. Give it a week or two, unless you find a really good price.
I would say if you get a good price, do it beforehand. If you're going to get a good price on a 2017 box, I would say take it. You're not losing money on Mahomes.
But do it beforehand, because afterhand, you know what they're going to do. Look what they did to Colts.
They can't do it beforehand because they're not going to see this till after the game.
But, I know that. Well, I'm saying that, if you're right, they're not going to see it. But if you did,
but in theory, Jerry,
beforehand,
100%, I agree with you.
Yeah, the issue is this. When you're buying stuff, like even when you go look now, after this show is done, if you go before the game and you decide you want to buy something, you think someone's going to be a player, obviously in any sports venue or championship game, that's the right time to do it.
Absolutely.
So that's what you might want to do. But
love it.
It's a luck of the draw.
Yeah. I'll tell you, another guy, just real quick before we wrap up, Doncic, his stuff's still climbing. 2018 Optics Contenders Optics just showed up on PSA.
Yeah, right. You mentioned that. Yep.
So that's another one just to keep an eye out. Those boxes, we got those for under $200 in December, and they're already jumping up. So this is a good time to get into that one if you want his cards.
They are. And the ironic thing is that I learned today, even if you see some red arrows in PSA, the box doesn't necessarily have to go down. The box, in one instance, I thought one of them that went down, the box would have been lower. The box was actually higher. And then another instance where the cards were good and I thought the box was going to stay the same, it was a cheaper box. So the one that I thought wasn't going to be good was good, and the one I thought was going to be good wasn't. So there's no way to tell. It depends how much the market's being pushed by collectors and everything else. But we do advocate, keep it sealed, keep it closed. keep it waxy. Keep it waxy.
That's right.
Don't jump out there. I think once again we did the best we could with this show today, trying to get people in a level addressing sports stars that pass away, and I think we pretty much nailed what our audience can look at.
I think so.
Take that advice.
Yeah, I think that next week we can go back to having our waxy, delightful chats.
And never know who we might have on.
Yeah, listen, we're working on some good stuff. Listen,
That's right.
The guests keep coming, so make sure you're commenting and telling us who you want us to talk to.
Yeah, that would be great.
Maybe you want John Palmieri back on the show. I don't know.
I don't know about that. We'll have to flip a coin on that one.
Maybe it's...
But he might have some new stuff that he might have found, because he was saying that he did find more cards at his father's house that he saved when he was a child.
Oh, well.
So we might have to see what he found there.
May have to circle back around.
There you go.
I think
where can they find us?
That's so good question. I think if you check out our website, thewaxhunters.com, you can find us there. You can check us out on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, where you're probably watching us right now, at The Wax Hunters. If you want to listen to our podcast, we're fun to listen to.
I'm punch drunk.
Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio.
We're going to be bankrupt. We're not making any money. We're going to be bankrupt.
It's not about the money, Jerry. It's about the love.
No, it is the love,
industry.
but we're on all these things. All the Apple, everybody's going to get rich.
Yeah, everyone's getting rich
Except
off the
us.
Wax Hunters. Yeah.
Well,
if you want to support the Wax Hunters, though, you
go.
can go to Patreon, throw some cash our way. We'll do some box breaks live on the air for you.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Well, my name is Jerry Marotti. To the right of me is Greg Marangel. We'd like to say goodnight, but together we are
the Wax Hunters.
Keep it waxy.
Stay waxy, everybody. Take care.